The other two, the hot and cold, we're actually going to tap across right here, and we're going to channel through the floor. So I only need one line going across, the cold.
So what are we doing right there? Are we going to tie into the copper inside the wall, the existing copper?
Yeah, that's right. We're going to cut these copper back, we're going to sharp bite them, and then we're going to convert to PEX plumbing.
Okay, and how are we going to get from here over to here when there's no walls?
Yep. Here's our center. Here's the center of our sink, which we have laid out according to our schematic.
Okay.
So anything within 3 inches of the center of our sink,
okay,
is where I want to bring like a cold water line up to about here, and a hot water line up to here.
So how are we getting
right? Hot on the
How are we getting over here?
The only way I can get over here is to either go down in the utility room, surface run them across the utility room.
Across the ceiling in the utility room.
Across the ceiling in the utility room, which we have our air conditioning unit is right there.
Okay.
So we decided that we're just going to go ahead and cut a 14-inch section of floor out, centered on our drain line. We're going to cut a 14-inch section of hole out from here to here, drop down into the floor, and bring them back
right
up.
down and right up into our sink base area. Okay.
We can do that. We can do that on this particular job because, on this particular job here, we actually only have half-inch plywood underlayment. Which we are going to be capping over this entire floor with another layer of half-inch to give us a 1-inch base.
For our tile.
Yeah, you need a 1-inch base, and you need an 1.25 inch base for your ceramic tile.
Okay.
When we cap over this with another half-inch layer of plywood, that's going to give us a 1-inch base, and then we're going to be using what's called a 1/4 inch Utilicrete or Hardy backer board. We've yet to decide.
And we're going to show them how to do that in the tile video in this series.
And that'll get you your. You need an 1.25 inch base for ceramic. So we're we're just thinking ahead that we can go ahead and open this floor up. We'll reset these same pieces of wood back in here, and then we're, like I said, in the future we're going to cap over.
And we did that for the electric guys. We had the same problem. We had to get electric from here over to that side of the kitchen, and since we tore all the walls out, we couldn't go up in the ceiling and down into any walls to get all them wires over there. So we came over here, we cut the floor open, all right, took a section of the floor out, and we drilled through the floor joist all the way over and came out over there. Okay, so all those wires over there are these same wires that are right here. We just ran under the floor and up into our wall. Well, we're going to do the same exact thing for our hot and cold water line. Our sink is over here, and we're going to be tapping into these two half-inch lines right here. All right, this is the hot water line here, and this is the cold water line. This is what's going to feed the new kitchen. All right, we're going to use the existing plumbing. Now, if you're not moving your sink to a new location, you can forget about this section of the video because you've already got your hot and cold water lines exactly where they need to be. But if you've redesigned your kitchen and you're moving your appliances around to new locations, pay attention to what we're going to be doing here over the next half hour, because this is going to show you how to move your sink location from point A to point B. Now, what Tom's going to use to cut this floor open, he's going to use a circular saw, and he's going to set the blade. He knows he's going through half-inch plywood, so he's going to set his blade for about 5/8 of an inch, just a little bit more than what he needs to go through that plywood. And to do that, you're going to adjust the guide on the bottom of the saw.
There's a 1/4 inch sticking up through. There's about a 1/2 inch. There's 5/8 sticking up through. So I'm going to lock her in right about there because I don't know what's underneath my floor, so I only want to cut out exactly the amount that I want to be cutting out.
So set your saw for the depth of the plywood you're cutting through, so you don't cut through any pipes or wires that we can't see at this point. All right, make sure that you wear your safety glasses whenever you run a particular saw like this, because there's going to be fragments of stuff flying all over the place that you don't want to get in your eyes. So Tom's got his safety glasses on. Okay.
This side is already cut.
So that should get us started anyway.
Yep.
All right, so once you cut through with your saw, there's going to be a bunch of nails that are going to be going down through your plywood into your floor joist. So what you're going to want to do is get yourself a pry bar to pry up your plywood. Now you can finish your cuts with the Sawzall because the circular saw won't make it the whole way over to the wall. Okay. Now we're going to use a pry bar here to pry it up and start pull some nails out. Just get it started with your hammer and get it underneath the plywood.
Step on those now.
All right. Okay, there's our chase. And we're going to be going right through that floor now and come up right up underneath our sink. Not only with our hot and cold water line, but we're also going to be doing some drain line work down here too, dropping our drain line down into the mechanical room below us.
And the straight of the better, I'm just going to go ahead and give him a set of lines here. Yeah, now, I'll give you a set of lines on this side too.
All right, so we're using the level again to make some marks so that our drill marks are exactly right across from one another on top here so that our hot and cold water lines are easy to pull through the floor. That way we're not just drilling holes anywhere in each joist, we're keeping things in a straight line so it makes it nice and easy to pull the hot and cold water lines. Okay, we're going to be using PEX water lines. It's not copper, it's not plastic like PVC, it's a special plumbing material called PEX. Now the reason I like PEX is you can see it's in a spool like wire. You can run PEX just like a wire. You just pull it off the spool like a wire. It's very flexible. You know, you can bend it around corners. It actually has a higher breaking pressure point than a copper pipe or CPVC. It's the strongest material out there against splits and cracks and blowouts. All right, it's a very, very strong material. And the reason I like it is because it bends around corners. I don't have to use a torch. There's no copper involved. I don't have to do anything except pull this through the holes that Tom's drilling over there to get from point A to point B. It's what almost every modern day contractor is using. It's replacing copper. Copper is a dinosaur. It's pretty much a thing of the past as far as I'm concerned. This is stronger, it's lighter, and it's a lot easier to install. We're going to be using this for the hot and the cold water lines, for the sink, and also for our ice maker.